Yes, last year we saw a quadruped of Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, and Rwanda that was hosted in Rwanda. We have seen another one this year, and we want to know exactly what it entailed and the processes that are being handled technically. We are delighted to talk to Ambassador James Mugume, the former PS Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a member of the Uganda Council on Foreign Relations. Ambassador Mugume,
yes,
we are seeing a retake of the Rwanda summit, a replica of the one that was held last year. After the one of last year, there was a ad hoc committee that was held in Kigali, and we saw some other processes that took place. Why do we come to see another summit of the same type in Rwanda? What does the retake mean?
I think what we saw last year, the ad hoc commission, when they met in Kampala, they decided that there were issues which had to be referred to the principals. The principals mean the heads of state. And so they've gone back to Rwanda, the meeting you saw on the 2nd of February. And if you saw the communique, I think there were three important parts in the communique. One was the restatement of the principles, Pan-Africanism and regional integration. This is the context. And the second part dealt on the substantive areas. There were changed lists of people who need to be released in both of these sides, countries. There was the question of respecting human rights for both countries, looking at the well-being of Uganda and the Rwandans. And those were issues that were identified beyond the agenda. Fortunately, they gave it a framework, time frame. In 3 weeks' time, the heads of state will meet to discuss progress of the work of the ad hoc commission. And I think the most interesting part for me, what is very encouraging, is that they also specified the venue, which is Katuna, which is the border. And as you know, the closure of the border has been very central. So by meeting, having a time frame, 3 weeks, and the venue at Katuna, it's very hopeful that the heads of state then will have sorted out the issues that I mentioned, the 4 issues, and they will be able to hopefully now reopen Katuna so the trade between the two countries can resume.
So the belief that the heads of states return to Rwanda was failure of the first stages of the process is wrong.
It's wrong, it's a misconception, because what the commission said is that they needed to refer to their authorities, which heads of state. And the mediators, who are the heads of state of Angola and the DRC, then decided to invite them again to Rwanda. And they've gone to Rwanda, and they've come out with a communique. And that communique is very clear about the residual issues that the commission needs to do. It's very clear about the time frame, 3 weeks. It's very clear where they will meet, the significant place being Katuna, where the signal of a closed border has a symbolic, the location is very symbolic, because that's where the closed border is. And the expectation is that these issues, if they are resolved, then the occasion should be also the occasion to reopen. That's my expectation.
Now, so that means the 2 Rwanda meetings have been on the design of the process to resolve the matters. So just as we see now another step of the heads of states meeting at the border.
Yes.
If that's the case, should we say the design of this particular problem to be resolved is based on the nature of the problem, or in a diplomatic way of solving problems, this is the standard design?
No, first of all, each problem is unique. The problems, as have you've seen, there was a paragraph there that talked about not creating the perception of supporting each other's negative force. I think there what is required is in the Pacific. It's a question of confidence building up trust
between the two parties.
And as I said last time, in my view, since states are not like human beings, they work on national interests. We need to focus on what is important in the national interests. They have the principles, Pan-Africanism, in other words, it's African solution to African problem. Two, integration, we have the East African community which we must preserve and build on. And thirdly, we have the sovereignty which we must respect. So those three framework issues are going to guide them to deal with the individual issues of resolving them. States, as I said, interests, they are not. It's not about feelings of individuals. It's about the interests. Fortunately, in the diplomatic way, we can, if there is an allegation of something or an issue is raised, in the diplomatic channel, there is a way of verification
of whatever information.
You can trust is very important, but you may also wish to verify. And there are ways, mechanisms which you can set in place to verify whatever it is. So for me, I think between Rwanda and Uganda, there's nothing that we cannot resolve. And if there is anything that creates a perception, that's where then you can use a verification mechanism.
If that was the case, would we really need to go to Rwanda?
Rwanda is a process.
Yes. Would we need a process as it is right now since last year? If that was the case, that Uganda and Rwanda, we can't fail to solve anything?
No, once the process started, you have to be bringing it to a conclusion. We have a mechanism, we have a time frame, and now we have a date and a location for resolving it. So the issues, as I had said last time when we met, that relate to the sensitive areas of sovereignty have to be handled carefully.
Okay.
Let us be clear that in international relations, interests of states are what guides the process.
Okay. What do you envisage of the meeting we expect in 3 weeks at Katuna Border?
I'm an optimist. I expect the Katuna, it will be also an occasion to reopen almost after 1 year. It will be an occasion to reopen the border. And as you saw, they were talking about the well-being of people. I'm sure the people on borders, both on the Ugandan side and on the Rwanda side, who do business naturally, their economies revolve on trade. So are people near the Kenyan border, so are people in Sudan, so are people on DRC. And when you cross the border, interfere with their lives. And it's mentioned that their interests should be taken into account.
So you see the border being opened this time when the heads of states meet there?
Yes, I'm almost confident that this is what they will seek to do. And you saw the Ugandan, I think, a tweet. Now we have a tweet diplomacy saying that Uganda will do everything possible to implement the commitments, and I'm sure Rwanda will do the same. So if that happens, and we have mechanism to make sure that we exist diplomatically, then I don't see why we should not reopen the borders, and the rest of the other issues can be dealt with as trade resumes and normal relations take place.
Technically, in a diplomatic understanding perspective, what may come up and block the way of opening the borders? The two countries that can have responsibility to avoid.
What can break is if you don't build enough trust. You see, because there are many, we have to trust each other, because in the case of Uganda and Rwanda, you have split populations. There are people who have half their families in Rwanda, half their families in Uganda. They trade with each other. We have worked together for a long time. There had been issues. The Muhazi Reconciliation 2011 resolved those issues. We can do that again. That can be done again. But the most important thing to me is to rebuild the trust. Otherwise, like all neighbors, there are going continuously to be issues that need to be dealt with. You cannot say this is the end of history. We have solved it and there will be no issues. But what is important is to build the trust, set up a mechanism. If there is an allegation, it can be verified. We've done this before, and I think it can be done again.
Okay, so it is only failure to build trust at either sides that can block the reopening of the border.
If there is a gap, if there is a gap,
we may see the border not opened in the 3 weeks.
Yes.
That we wait.
Yes.
What does that mean? Will that mean now for the process for all of us who enjoy business at the border? In case, what will that mean if we don't see the border opened at that meeting?
Of course, I know many people who do business with Rwanda. They are hurting, and I think on both sides.
And they can't wait for that day.
They can't wait. That's what they are looking, because for their normal lives depend on it. And I think both governments now see the need, both for our bilateral relations and for the interests of East African integration. We have the East African community.
What will it mean to the process that we started last year?
What it means is that we really need to focus.
I mean, if we fail to open the border, the 3 weeks, the day the presidents will meet there, what will it be in the process? Won't we have to restart it?
No, you don't have to restart. You build on this. Everything is built, and with diplomacy, you have to be patient. You have to make sure that you bring everybody on board. You can bring in third parties, like the two heads of state. Yes. Their job as facilitators overcome some of those issues, and I'm sure they are keen to see this thing resolved. And the key, importantly, that both heads of state are committed